So in Chapter 2 of the core rulebook, we take a look at action resolution, and this is to perform any type of action, such as a skill roll or a combat action, or to do a shadow test. And well, like any other role-playing game, you need to roll dice. And so for the one ring dice, you have what's called a defeat die, which is basically your D12 for normal dice, and then you have your success dice, which is your D6. You'll notice there's going to be a few differences, however, to the normal dice, and the proprietary the one ring dice has for the 12 a Gandalf ruin, and for the 11 an Eye of Sauron. And this is just to signify the certain special features in the one ring itself. As for the D6, you'll see that it has numbers 1, 2, and 3 that are kind of hollowed out, and that's for a special feature into the game, and well as this Tangwar, this little T ruin Tangwar, in Elvish, Sindarin, for the 6, and it signifies something special as well. When you do need to make a roll for the one ring, generally what you do, say for instance, we'll pull out Bilbo once again and take a look at his character sheet. Usually when you're doing either a skill roll, a combat proficiency, or want to do a shadow test, you're always going to roll at least one feat die. There's going to be, as explained earlier in the character sheet and how to read it, if there is a favorite skill signified by the check mark on the side, on the left side of the skill, that means you will roll 2 feat die and pick the better result. Each of the ranks or pips or whatever in the skill, or the number in the value here, or the pips or the ranks in the combat proficiencies, tells you how many of the d6s or the success dice you would roll. Say for instance for bows, Bilbo would roll 1 feat die and the 2 success dice to be able to roll to hit with a bow. Target number is 15, we'll do the roll, and he would not succeed because he would have a 2 on his feat die, a 1 for one of his success, and a 4 for that, totaling 7, being less than the TN number, meaning he doesn't hit. However, if we were going to roll for the riddle roll, we take a look. Is it favored? Well, yes, it is. So he gets to roll 2 feat die. How many ranks does he have in that skill? He has 3. Therefore, he rolls 3 success dice. We'll check to see if he succeeds in his riddle roll. And rolling the 2 feat die, we pick the best, which is a 10, and then we add in the values of the success dice. 6 is 12, 2 is 14, add the 10 is 24, well above the target number. Therefore, he succeeds. But wait a second, he's rolled 2 6s. So for those 2 6s, they call that extra success. He's had an extraordinary or a great success. And this would provide the ability for the player hero playing this character, if you rolled this, to spend those extra successes, these Tangwars, to do special things for the skill. So garner more information. If we take a look in the core rulebook, and this would be something that you would ask your lore master to do, you can spend those extra successes, those extra 6s that you would get, to have these special successes. For instance, canceling a failure. So if somebody in your company fails, you succeed, you actually cause them to succeed instead. You can gain an actual additional success. And so if you needed 3 skill rolls to complete a task, you've got 1 or 2 Tangwars. That means you had 3 successes. Gain insight, so you gain further information. Do something quietly, you can spend it to do an attempted task in a shorter time, or you widen your influence. So if you're trying to enhearten a group of commoners in the village of Bree and you succeed, you could actually influence more than half a dozen, more than a dozen, whatever is deemed appropriate by the lore master. And that is it. That's basically making the rolls. That's how you read it. One thing that we wanted to touch base on, though, with the feat die is whenever you roll a Gandalf ruin, that means you basically did a feat success or a critical roll. You automatically hit. You automatically succeeded on that skill, or you automatically succeeded on that shadow test. If, however, you rolled an Eye of Sauron, it would actually not an auto fail, it would just count as a 0 on your skill attempt or your combat. So that's why it's important to try to get as many hope as many success dice as you can to roll to increase your chances of getting over your target number value. Now let's take a look at die roll modifiers. Well, what does that mean? Well, we already covered the favorite rolls, where you roll 2 success dice, 2 feat die, and you pick the best result. Well, what about ill-favored rolls? Well, it's the opposite. You would roll 2 feat die, picking the lowest result. In this case, well, they're both 1, so you pick 1. And that's your basically your ill-favored roll. Bonus success dice, again, if you have a magical item that gives you an extra success dice to roll, if you're inspired on a skill and you spend a point of hope, you can add an extra success dice. If you have a useful item and the lore master deems it applicable to the skill that you're attempting, then you may be able to add a bonus success dice. And basically what that means, so say for instance, we'll take Bilbo as an example again. You take his fondly right pipe, he has insight. It's a useful item. If he's rolling an insight roll and he's smoking his pipe and he's trying to gauge, if a dwarf is friendly or is a foe, the lore master would deem and said, yep, you're inspired on that skill roll. So taking a look at his insight, you roll the 1 feat die because it's not favored or ill-favored, roll the 3 success dice, and you get to add the bonus success dice to try to beat your target number. So we'll roll. Oh, this is fancy that. He gets a feat success because he rolled a Gandalf ruin, but he also rolled 2 Tengwars to add to that success. You can tally up the numbers, but he's already succeeded, so you don't have to worry about that. But he has the 2 successes. And again, if we look at the table about special successes and spending it, you can actually gain further information about it. So that's something the lore master and you can decide together, or you can widen your influence. So basically, through the role play, he becomes an ally to whatever task it is you're doing or whatever adventure you're on or whatnot. And that's how that works. So that's the bonus success dice. Hope bonus, every time you spend a point of hope, you gain the 1 extra dice. If you're inspired on a skill roll and you spend the point of hope, instead of getting the normal 1d6 for your hope bonus, you actually get 2 d6s to add to your skill roll. If you are supporting a player hero in your company to complete the skill test, you as the player can spend 1 point of your own hope so that player gains a point of hope. And generally, a player hero may support only another in the circumstances allow it, and only if the supporting hero possesses at least 1 rank in the appropriate skill. So if you don't have any ranks in your skill, you can't support them. So for instance, for Bilbo, he wouldn't be able to support something for hunting because he has no ranks, but in athletics he could, travel he could, exploring he could, lore he could. He can use a point of his hope to basically give an extra d6 to somebody else's roll. Penalty success dice, there are instances in the game and the lore master would adjudicate that where you're going to lose. So you basically tally everything up. So even if you had spent a point of hope and you get a bonus, but something happens that you get to lose 1d, you basically remove that and you just roll like you normally would. Magical successes, they're really interesting in that some player heroes possess the talent, so like the High Elves of Rivendell, High Elves of Lindon, Elves of Mirkwood, they can spend a point of hope to actually have an automatic magical success. Something magical happens, they're able to do it, and they don't need to roll to see if they succeed. They automatically succeed. However, you're still going to want to roll your success dice so that you can see if you get better advantages, or you do something quiet, or you do something in haste, or you get more information, more insight. And that's how to roll using the feat die, using the success dice, and how you interpret that for playing the game. If you like this video and the content that I'm creating, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, share it to your fellow players or any new lore masters that are just picking up the game, and then make a comment if you found this video helpful. I'm Ryan of the North. Thank you for watching.